Fox Sports.
We are Fox Sports. We are San Diego.
Last night, the Padres were able to score early and often against Bronson Arroyo and the Cincinnati Reds. Padres breaking out the bats to a 9-3 victory in Game 1 of the series. Great way to start this 3-game series against Cincinnati. How about Yangervis Solarte? We just saw hit that home run. 3 home runs, 13 RBIs, and a .324 average, all starting on May 20th for the Padres. Solarte back in the lineup tonight. So is Joey Votto for the Cincinnati Reds. He's got a pass with Clayton Richard. 6 for 18 with a home run and 3 RBIs. It's Game 2 of the series as we welcome you inside the broadcast booth, everybody. Don Orsillo along with Mark Grant. Welcome to Padres Baseball. Well, the Padres last night had the offense clicking at all cylinders, and we talk about the Padres offense. You got to talk about Perella and Cordero.
Taking good pitches, putting the ball in play, and the 1-2 punch for the Padres last night was a huge success in their victory against the Cincinnati Reds. Let's start at the top when you talk about Jose Perella, hitting the ball to all fields with some authority. The extra base hits off the end of the bat. Hey, when you swing the bat well, yes, the balls are going to fall. How about the opposite field home run for Cordero? I love this kid. He reminds me of Gregory Polanco of the Pittsburgh Pirates. He's got the good build. He's got some strength and the defense as well. The glove in center field, going to his right, going to his left, making adjustments, and pitchers can really appreciate that when they got the good defense playing behind them.
Well, tonight, Clayton Richard is on the mound for the Padres, and that's good news for the Reds. They've got some good power hitters, and they power up against lefties.
Not a lot of soft spots in the lineup when it comes to the Cincinnati Reds and the power against lefties. You break it down, .467. Now this is slugging percentage. And when you look at the Reds and that slugging percentage against lefties, 136 hits, 30 doubles. They've hit 25 home runs. They're hitting .259, but it's not just the .259. It's the big extra base hits. So Clayton Richards really got to stick to his game plan. And I talked to him before the game. He said, you know what? When you play a team like the Reds, they're not in the division. I'm going to stick to my strength. So look for a lot of sinkers, hopefully ground balls out of the hand of Clayton Richard tonight. Well,
last night the first 3 rounds of the MLB draft took place for the Padres. Today there was more. Day 2, they add more to the Padres organization. We'll hear from A.J. Preller, who tells us about Day 2 when we return on Fox Sports San Diego. Brought to you by Buick. By Petco, where the pets go. By Sequan Casino, sign up for the Padres Club Card today. And by Jack in the Box. Come try the new sweet or spicy barbecue bacon cheeseburger and chicken sandwich. Now it's game 2 of the series between the Padres and the Reds. Before we get it started, let's send it down to Bob Scanlon.
Well, thanks, Don. We got Major League Baseball starting here in a couple of minutes, but in the background, it's day 2 of the free agent draft. This is the most important day of an organization. Why? This is the lifeblood of your organization, draft and development. And as we take a look at who the Padres have picked, they've got 11 names up there right now. But the thing to note is that the top 6 names are all high school players. It's the first time in the organization that they've taken 6 high schoolers in the first 6 rounds. The next 5 are collegiate, but there's a reason they're comfortable taking those high school players. They have the time to develop them and the confidence in their system. Here's what AJ had to say about their philosophy.
I said it a few times. I think you make mistakes when you sit there and you try to draft either for need or you try to draft, based on the current state of your big league club or anything like that. You're trying to draft to build a championship organization, try to get as many, guys that we feel like have a chance to be plus championship performers down the road. And sometimes that falls on the college ranks, sometimes it falls on the high school ranks. But as a scouting staff, we talk constantly. If it's, you look up and you've taken 20 college players in a row, but those are the best 20 on the board at the time, I think that's smart.
Now it's time for some Major League Baseball. The draft is going on, but it's time to play some ball right here. More pop out of Jose Perella. That is what the Padres are hoping for tonight. He's been on absolute fire. He'll try to get it done against Scott Feldman. Clayton Richard going for the Padres. Padres, Reds, coming up next right here on Fox Sports San Diego.
It's time now for the weather report, brought to you by your always sunny San Diego Honda dealers. 70 degrees, northwest breeze at 8 miles per hour. Forecast clear for the remainder of the evening on the cloud in the sky as we get it started here tonight in San Diego. Game 2 of this series. Don Orsillo, Mark Grant, and Bob Scanlon with you for the middle game between the Padres and Reds. Padres took game 1, and now the Reds and Padres ready for game 2. Billy Hamilton leading it off, standing in on the right side as the infield in here at the corners, and he'll take ball 1 from Clayton Richard. He did a pretty good job of keeping Hamilton off the base paths in last night's game. It's always a key. Tons of speed for him. And he'll chop one towards third. Spangenberg was in, and that'll work. One down. Let's check out the rest of the Cincinnati Reds starting lineup. Just saw Billy Hamilton. He's in center field for Brian Price. Scooter Gennett at second base with Joey Votto at first. Adam Duvall in left field in the cleanup spot with Eugenio Suarez at third base. Scott Schebler is in right field with Devin Masaraco doing the catching. Jose Peraza at short. And Scott Feldman, the pitcher, batting out of the 9 spot. One down here in the first, and it brings up Scooter Gennett. Well, Gennett had last night off, and of course Gennett with a 4-home run game last week for the Reds. And
unbelievable, huh?
Tremendous.
Only 17 players in the history of this game have done that.
Trying to pick up that corner and just missed. Time now for the Padres scouting report, brought to you by San Diego International Boat Show.
Well, sinkers on the ground. We know that Clayton Richard, when he gets that field, the infielders will be busy.
Couple of hops out to short, and Cordoba's throw is in time. And there were 2 outs here in the first inning.
And silence the Reds' bats. We know they can hit some homers.
Let's check out the Padres defensively behind Clayton Richard tonight. Padres defense brought to you by Lincoln. Left to right, Jose Perella, Frenchy Cordero, and Hunter Renfroe. Third to first, it's Corey Spangenberg, Alan Cordoba, Jan Hervis Solarte, Will Myers, and Austin Hedges doing the catching for Clayton Richard. You know, Richard's going well when he's got ground ball outs, and the first 2 have been. Hamilton to third, Gennett to short. Takes us to Joey Votto. Was choking up and kind of in that sitting stance that he has, kind of lowers himself into it before the pitch comes in.
Good bat control, great bat control. Good discipline of the strike zone. Takes a lot of pitches. In fact, remember, during the course of his career, there have been people saying, hey, you need to swing the bat more.
Now it's a straightaway center field, and ranging over is Cordero from deep left center to make that catch. A 1-2-3 first on 7 pitches. Coming up in the bottom of the first inning, and tonight we are participating in the home run challenge. Every home run and strikeout in this game raises money for prostate cancer research. Since June the 1st, $2.6 million have been raised in the challenge. You can make a pledge by going to homerunchallenge.org. Now the Padres coming up in their lineup tonight, brought to you by Toyota. Jose Perella leads it off in left field with Frenchy Cordero in center. Will Myers at first base. Jan Hervis Solarte at second base in the cleanup spot. Hunter Renfroe in right with Corey Spangenberg at third base. Alan Cordoba at short. Austin Hedges does the catching. He bats 8th. And Clayton Richard, the pitcher, out of the 9 spot. Scott Feldman on the mound tonight for the Cincinnati Reds.
Oh, the 10-year veteran. in 11th season, 34-year-old making his 14th start. Hey, he's got the best ERA on the staff at 4+, so that gives to show you what the Reds pitching rotation has been like. Cutters, sinkers, and curveballs, and he's not overpowering. I'm talking maybe 88, 89, sometimes 90 on the cut fastball from Feldman.
Jose Pirela leading it off and taking strike one. Well, Pirela has been fun to watch in the leadoff spot for the Padres. Coming in, hitting at .500 with 2 homers and 6 runs batted in. On the ground, deep shortstop, and Peraza can do nothing with it. Too much speed for Pirela's got himself an infield hit. Nothing he could do about it at shortstop.
Exactly. When that ball was hit, I immediately looked at Suarez and Peraza. I knew that Suarez was not going to get it, so then I focused on Pirela getting down the line, and he was picking him up, putting him down nicely. He was concentrating on that back. He was not looking at the play made it short. He knows that he's got to go all the way through the bag. You got to love that.
Lead runner on here, and a bunt showing by Cordero, who jumps back out of the way and pitch riding up and in. Archie Cordero batting in the 2 spot, just under 300 at 298. With a home run and 6 runs batted in. Step on the grass at third is Eugenio Suarez. Double play depth for the Reds in the middle. And a little looper into left field. It's going to fall for a hit back at third into left. And rounding second, but putting the brakes on is Pirela. And the first 2 have reached here for the Padres in the bottom of the first inning.
What was that we were talking about? Little 1-2 punch for the Padres.
Yep.
Infield single. Pirela fights this one off. Franchi Cordero with the little flare to left. And with nobody out, got action. Multiple base runners for the Padres.
2 on, nobody out, and Will Myers coming up. 255 with 12 home runs, 32 runs batted in for Myers. 1 for 5 in the game last night with an RBI. And he shoots it back at first. Votto going back, can't get it. It'll land in short right. Here comes Pirela. He will score, and the Padres take a 1-0 lead. Just a flare back at first and in short right field, and Pirela comes around from second, and the Padres strike first.
Nothing wrong with a couple of flares, driving in a run. Look at him bring the hands in towards the chest, fighting it off. That's wanting to stay out of the kitchen. And because he gets jammed and the way the Reds are playing defensively on the right side, Jeanette, Votto, no chance. And it's always got a nice ring to it. When you score a run and you look at the scoreboard, still nobody out.
So 2 on and nobody out, a run in. Yangervis Solarte coming up. 257 for Solarte. 6 homers, 34 runs batted in, and Padres off to the good start again tonight.
Wow.
That was generous.
It was on the corner all right.
Of?
Corner of 8th and K. Look at this pitch. My goodness.
On the ground up the middle into center field, a base hit. Cordero being waved around. He'll score, and the Padres take a 2-0 lead. Yangervis Solarte with an RBI single. Four straight hits to start this bottom of the first inning.
Tell you, that's a high cutter. Solarte fights it off. You can see not on the sweet spot, but with the way the Reds are playing defensively, this ball finds the hole past Feldman. The ground ball to the center fielder, 1 on, 1 off. Got a merry-go-round inning going here for San Diego, and it's nice to see Glenn Hoffman, the third base coach, busy getting that left arm going, sending them home.
So 2 on, nobody out, 2 runs in, and Hunter Renfroe coming up.
Here's where you need the big blow. This inning is kind of like your wallet after a 10-day road trip. 4 singles.
2-0 Padres on top, and 13 home runs so far for Renfroe. 30 RBIs, 227 average. And Feldman trying to find his bearings here in the first inning.
And this is a situation where Feldman, the singles getting fought off, flares, right? Might be a little bit too fine, trying to nitpick a little bit. Maybe Renfroe can get into a good hitter's count and do some serious damage with an extra base hit.
Yeah, that's the thing. He's not been hit terribly hard.
No.
But very effective here with 4 straight hits and 2 quick runs, and still does not have an out.
And don't get me wrong, it's frustrating.
Or Spangenberg waiting on deck as part of this first inning.
I don't think the Padre hitters have hit the sweet spot yet, but you look at the scoreboard, it's all that matters. They're fighting pitches off.
On the ground towards shortstop. Peraza will go to second for 1, and that's all they'll get. So they get Solarte, the middleman, 6-4 on the force out. As Myers takes third, Renfroe will reach at first. Let's take a look at the keys to the game, brought to you by your San Diego Honda dealers.
Well, after last night's victory, keep Hamilton off base. He did reach base in the 7th on a walk. And hey, everyone contribute. Everyone in the lineup last night got a hit with the exception of Hunter Renfroe. The Padres have homered here at home 11 consecutive games. How about making it 12?
Infield a double play depth here as Spangenberg jumps on that first pitch and fouls it back. Actually, the Padres have homered 11 straight games, 16 home runs in those 11 games. They have never homered in 12 straight games here at Petco Park. So we'll see if they can do it. Spangenberg 11 for his last 19 at the plate. And a swing and a miss has him down 0-2.
That's a good curveball from Feldman. Serious depth to it.
He's batting with Myers at third, Renfroe at first. In the dirt and blocked nicely by Mesoraco. That's trying to minimize the damage here in the first inning. Toss to first, and back easily was Renfroe. The lead was not terribly large. Outfield straight away. Not all that deep on Spangenberg, especially Hamilton in center, though he can go back on a ball without a problem. 1-2. That'll bounce in again.
A good recognition right there by Corey, because he swung at the curveball earlier in the at-bat, and another run saved by Mesoraco.
Out there to talk to Feldman here. 4 straight hits to begin the ball game. Perella, Cordero, Myers, and Solarte to get it started, and 2 quick runs. Myers at third, Renfroe at first. Spangenberg waiting on a 2-2 pitch. On the outside corner for strike 3, and Spangenberg is out number 2 of the inning. Let's take a look at the Reds defensively behind Scott Feldman. Left to right in the outfield. Adam Duvall, Billy Hamilton, and Scott Schebler in the infield. Eugenio Suarez at third base. Jose Peraza at short. Scooter Gennett at second. Joey Votto at first. And Devin Mesoraco does the catching for Scott Feldman. 2 down, first and third for Alan Cordoba. And a pitch in the dirt outside. Again, Mesoraco having to lunge to his right. With all that has happened in this first inning, still only 17 pitches for Feldman. In search of his final out here of the inning. And Cordoba at 280, 3 homers and 9 runs batted in. That'll drop in there for a strike. 1-1. Cordoba went around. It was a strike called anyway, and it's a ball and 2 strikes.
That's a huge run at third for San Diego if he can drive that in somehow.
Renfroe goes, pitches outside, and he will take second base uncontested.
Oh, the beauty of that play is now the Redlegs cannot go the short way at second base to get out of this inning. Some ground ball up the middle, maybe to the second baseman or shortstop, to the right or left. They have to go a ways. They can, do the backhand flip of the force. Not the situation right now. That can result into a run.
So second and third here, 2 down, and Cordoba. As Arauco asks for time, the catcher. Deuces are wild on the scoreboard on the left. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Padres on top here by 2. Inside, almost hit him.
Soon to be 3-0.
Strike 3 call. Cordoba doesn't like the calls. He strikes out to end the inning. Well, the Padres come up with 2 runs in the first inning. Will Myers with a base hit to right field picks up his 33rd RBI. Then Yangervis Solarte with a single to center. It's a 2-0 Padres lead after 1.
I think they are. I mean, we're joking.
Well, Clayton Richard back on the mound here now, the 2-0 advantage. And the first pitch strike here to Adam Duvall leads it off for the Reds in the second inning. Duvall, Suarez, and Schembler scheduled to bat here in the inning after Richard enjoyed a 1-2-3 first, 2 groundouts and a flyout. Duvall skies one foul off to the right out of play.
I had a chat with Clayton, and he's such a good egg. Sure, it's his pitch day, but it was a situation where, he felt like he wanted to talk a little bit as we take a look at his strengths and weaknesses. He throws a lot of fastballs for strikes. And the changeup when put in play 385, so it's got to make an adjustment on that. Although he has thrown some good ones in the rest of his arsenal.
Fly ball struck pretty well to center field. Back goes Cordero onto the track, reaching for the wall as he makes the catch. That's that area out there where it jets out a little bit, and back there to make the grab is Cordero. One down.
Out in front of it a little bit too much and underneath. And Clayton Richard could have a sigh of relief as this pitch is in a little bit. Got in on him a little bit. Maybe a little bit too quick off the end of the bat. And Cordero feeling for the wall. Just missed it.
Now one down here in the second inning. Richard has retired the first 4 Reds he's faced. And here is Suarez to take strike 1.
But Clayton said, you know what, I'm going to stick to my strengths. Playing against a team that's out of division, you don't see him that often, so I'm going to stick to my strengths. If they can show me they're going to make adjustments to my strengths, well, I know the scouting report to where I can go to their weaknesses then. I thought that was pretty interesting.
Well, so far so good for Clayton. Reds have lost 7 straight road games. They are 10-19 on the road, away from Great American Ballpark, as that's a strike, and Suarez looking back.
I think we have a liberal zone tonight. What do you think, Don?
I would say so.
Yeah.
Clayton Richard losing to the Diamondbacks on Thursday. 4 runs allowed in 5 innings. In 6 career starts against the Reds, 0-2. Reds really have trouble with lefties. They power up against them pretty well, but a major league worst 3-11 with a .214 average against left-handed starters this season. Fly ball down the right field line. Over goes Renfroe towards the corner, and he'll make the catch in fair ground. 2 down in the second inning.
Two ground balls, 3 fly balls. Talking about the outs for Clayton Richard. So it tells me when the pitches are up in the zone, they cannot get on top of it, square it up enough to do some damage.
2 down for Scott Schebler. 18 home runs, 35 runs batted in for Schebler. The major league leader was Aaron Judge with 22 home runs. The 2 Reds are tied atop the National League in home runs. Schebler and Votto both with 18 home runs each. Richard being careful in dealing with him and falling behind here, 2-0. Schebler now, Mesoraco waiting on deck as the Reds bat here in the second. Padres shifting on the right side. They bring Spangenberg from third to the right side of the infield, and that's Solarte in short right. There's strike 1.
We were just talking about Aaron Judge and home runs. Should they just engrave that Rookie of the Year trophy already?
Starting to look that way.
Yeah.
You never know. Long way to go, but chopped right side, coming a long way is Spangenberg, and he'll flip, and it'll be late. Reaching at first is Schebler.
Yeah, I think Corey may, kind of tough to tell from that angle, but whether he was going to go with the glove flip or go with the hand, and I'll tell you what, that might have been the difference in the play, but how much can you get on it on the glove flip as we take a look? Safe. I got safe. What do you got?
I got safe.
Good effort, though, by Corey, because he was thinking backhand flip the whole way, which is obviously the right move. But with the way the Padres were positioned, that's the only play that they had.
So 2 down. Schebler at first with a short lead, and that is ball 1 to Mesoraco. .240 average in his 28th game of the year. 5 homers, 9 runs batted in. Saw Tucker Barnhart catch the first game of the series, and tonight getting the start for the Reds is Devin Mesoraco. Of course, play day baseball here tomorrow in the finale of the 3-game series. And Richard retired the first 5 Reds he faced in the game before the infield hit by Schebler. Now dealing with Mesoraco. Richard falling behind 3-1.
Danger count. Strike zone shrinks for Mesoraco right here.
Jose Peraza waiting on deck. And a grounder foul, full count. Closed captioning for tonight's game is brought to you by Wiener Schnitzel. So getting it started first to be Schebler. Throw over and almost threw it away. Nice play by Myers to come off the bag to get that. Runner goes, and this is lined to center. Cordero is there without a problem to make the catch. Building the cap high. Inning and a half done, 2-0 Padres. Reds, we get ready for the bottom of the second inning. Time now for AARP's Getting to Know Luis Torrens. Just a Rule 5 draft choice for the Padres. And backup catcher selected by the Reds first, second overall in the 2016 MLB Rule 5 draft. And of course, the Padres taking him from the Cincinnati Reds. And here he is, having a chance to catch from time to time. Wonderful to see him tomorrow in the day game after the night game tonight.
Well, I've always felt that you never have enough pitching or catching.
Austin Hedges, the starting catcher, leading it off here in the inning and taking a strike.
Boy, how time flies, because I remember when Austin Hedges was drafted #2, and we had him in the booth. here at Petco Park after the draft, and how excited he was to get started and wear the Padre uniform. And now he's catching at the big league level, and he's a good egg.
"11 home runs for Austin so far this year. 34 runs batted in, and leading it off here in the bottom of the second. Lined and caught at third by Suarez. Very defensively, had to get his head out of the way first. That's making some solid contact and having nothing to show for it as Suarez makes the catch. Watch your face.
Oh yeah, no kidding. You know what? You know what your teammates will say on that one? Ugly finder. On the line drive right at you.
You think they just said that to you? Because I've never heard that before.
You've never heard that?
No.
Ugly finder? You've never heard that? That's a classic. It's been around for decades. You know, as soon as I said that, I looked at you and I like smelled smoke burning, and
I was thinking.
I heard gears grinding.
Yes.
You just couldn't wait to get that out.
It's great. Clayton Richard. He's had a pretty good year at the plate. Yeah, the count is 1-2. '30th pitch coming up here, the outing for Feldman. Trying to pick up that outside corner and not getting it. So a full count here to Richard with Perella waiting on deck. Feldman giving up 2 runs. Struck out the last 2 batters to end the first inning. And minimal damage. As he strikes out Richard, that's a 3rd K for Feldman. Well, a lot of players drafted in the last 24 hours across Major League Baseball. Dan Plesac, and a lot of players like yourself received these mailgrams back in 1980 to let you know you were drafted. It was a little bit different back then.
How archaic is that?
That's unbelievable.
I remember the Pony Express driver knocking up on our door saying, "Mr. Grant, we have a mailgram for you. Mailgram from Mongo."
Your name has been selected in the 2nd round. It goes on to say, we hope that you will join our professional organization.
Yeah, we hope you seriously consider having a career with the whatever team that you were. But mine was pretty much the same way.
Yep.
Mine's in a box somewhere at home. I should dig it
You
out.
have it though?
I think I do.
Yeah, that's cool.
My mom put together, you know, my mom, dad, they had like scrapbooks and stuff like that. They sent it to me years ago, and it's like up in the attic, out in the garage. Got to rummage through that.
In the dirt as Mesoraco slides to his right.
I found out from our local radio station. We had family and friends over at the house, and we turned on WJOL 1340 on your AM dial.
That's how you found out?
And because they had a ticker tape, and the sports guy was keeping an eye on it. And, you know, selection number 1, 2, 3, 4. And found out on the radio.
Wow.
Everybody in the living room sitting around the radio.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
A little different now.
Oh. Big production. MLB Network.
On the ground, back to Feldman. He will run a bit and flip to first for the out. 2-0 Padres at the end of 2.
expecting him to be perfect at short, but some of the things we've given him to work on, he did yesterday. And there was a cleanness in the way he fielded the baseball because of it. There was a cleanness in the way he threw the baseball because of it. And those things are going to add up to him being, at least having a chance to be a major league shortstop on a consistent basis. So the exposure he gets to the position at this level is very, very good for him.
That's Andy Green talking about his rookie shortstop, Alan Cordoba, getting his second start in a row at shortstop for the first time in his major league career. And as Andy said, he's been working on a lot of things before the ball games. He applied them yesterday perfectly. So far, he's been flawless in his one opportunity tonight. And the balance, the very tricky balance for Andy, has been to get him exposure, but not to overwhelm him with too much too fast. They feel like he's coming along just nicely, guys.
I just can't think very much as Peraza grounds out to third base for the first out of the inning. A lot of times over the years when you look at guys that are going to play the outfield and the infield from a super utility type situation, we saw Joe Madden do with a series of guys over the years in Tampa. Zobrist did it in Tampa, he does it in Chicago with the Cubs. But not often do you see a guy who plays shortstop as part of that double-sided thing.
Well, you know what that tells me, and we touched upon it a little bit ago yesterday, talking about the draft. Shortstops you can put anywhere, I feel. You know, think about it in Little League. Who played short and was your best pitcher?
Best player.
Absolutely.
Best athlete.
Yes. And it's the same, I think, at this level. You look over the course of history, the guys who played shortstop, they can pretty much play anywhere on the diamond.
Now Scott Feldman, the pitcher, leading it off. 0 for 23 on the year. And he grounds one softly to Will Myers. He will tag the bag, and there are 2 outs here in the third inning. So ground ball out so far for Clayton Richard.
So obviously you were a right fielder, and
I was a second baseman.
were you?
Yeah. Not a right fielder.
Hey, don't underestimate.
No.
Kids, if you're watching out there, right field,
Yep.
very important position.
I didn't have the arm for right field.
Usually if you're in right field, you have the best arm on the team because it's the longest throw to third base.
Now 2 down here in the third. Billy Hamilton coming up, second time through. And a ground ball to second base. Good news for Clayton Richard. More grounders. A 1-2-3 third inning. All grounders. 2-0 Padres. th home runs of the season at Cleveland at Progressive Field, a part of a Dodgers 7-5 win against the Indians.
He's impressive. Saw him here at Petco Park earlier in the season. Should we start engraving that trophy?
Yeah, there you go. Talk about Rookie of the Year and Aaron Judge on one side. You know, it's amazing. Over the years, you heard Bobby Cox, I think it was that run, what was it, 13 divisions, series 14 in a row for the Atlanta Braves. He would often say that, of course, he was a Hall of Fame manager, that they'd like to add one guy from the system every year and put him at the major league level. And they sort of did during that run for a lot of it. Well, you look at it last year, Seager, Rookie of the Year with the Dodgers. This year you get Bellinger. It seems like the Dodgers are doing that right now.
And they had that run back in the 90s where they had like 4 or 5 consecutive Rookie of the Years.
Yep, and there you go. One guy a year you would add to the kind of the roster. Give you an idea of how solid their organization was for a long period of time. 5 in a row retired by Feldman after a rough first inning. She gave up a couple of runs. Could have been a lot worse. He minimized the damage. And Franchy Cordero leading it off and driving one out towards deep left center field. Back goes Billy Hamilton onto the track at the wall. It is gone into the bullpen. Franchy Cordero with his second home run gives the Padres a 3-0 lead.
Let's check out the 1-1 pitch. Looked like a changeup, and he went out and got it. Wasn't even the best swing from Franchy. Pitch is down, out in front just a little bit. That's impressive.
So a 3-0 Padres lead. Cordero had gotten his first major league home run. He's out of 2, and now he's got 2. Will Myers 1 for 1 in the game with an RBI single his first time up. How about the Padres now? They have homered in 12 straight games at Petco Park for the first time in their history.
Love the long ball.
And a smile for Franchy, certainly happy about it. Breaks up a string of 5 in a row, retired by Feldman. Three runs, 5 hits, no errors. Now for the Padres, no runs, a hit, and no errors for the Cincinnati Reds. Myers will take ball 4 and head down to first base. Just gonna look at that Franchy Cordero home run.
Well, it's a changeup out of the hand of Feldman. And boy. And here's the thing to me, not even his best swing. It wasn't like he was just on, like the ball was on a tee. It was down. It was an off-speed pitch, and he takes it the opposite way.
So runner at first, nobody out. Yangervis Solarte coming up. He'll take strike 1. Solarte with an RBI single to center field, part of that 2-run first inning. Well, since May the 20th, the numbers have been very impressive for Yangervis, sitting at .324. And he fouls one back below us. Solarte has hit safely in 5 of the last 6 games. That's with Myers gaining his lead at first base. Good size lead at that. And Solarte swings at a pitch in the dirt, badly fooled, and he strikes out. Strikeout number 4 for Scott Feldman is out number 1 at the bottom of the 3rd inning.
We've seen that curveball from Feldman earlier in the game, and that's the put-away curveball out of the zone for the swing and miss. And once again, Mesoraco, boy, he just gets the webbing of the glove on that one. Almost through the wickets there.
Pretty good curveball. I mean, it looks like it's there, and then it's not.
Yep.
Let's see where Solarte would be fooled on that. He was 1 down in the inning, and here is Hunter Renfroe.
It's kind of like your gyro ball.
A little bit, yeah. Just kind of drops right off the table.
Really reminds me of that.
1 down in the inning.
Well, Mesoraco's getting a workout back there.
Yes, he is doing a good job too.
A lot of room out there in right center field. You know that Renfroe can drive the ball out there with some authority.
Throw over, and Myers getting back to the bag. That lead getting even larger over there. Scott Feldman noticed.
There's that gap I was talking about, right center field.
Runner goes. The pitch is low, and the throw is going to be late. Stolen base, second of the night for the Padres. This one for Will Myers. Renfroe had stolen a base in the first inning. Now it's Myers here in the third inning.
Well, with the right-hander, you wait for that leg kick, and it's a good jump for Will Myers, diving towards the outfield side of second base on the corner. Stay there, stay there. But you know what? I hold my breath every time, Don. Broken finger, broken thumb, tendon.
Especially with Will's wrist injuries of the past. In scoring position with one down, a run already in. Outfield straight away here on Renfroe. 13 home runs on the year. Pickoff play at second, and Myers able to get back again, going back head first. Feldman taking a chance here. Scooter Gennett cheating in from second base, trying to get behind Myers. Renfroe hits a pop-up into shallow right. Out goes Votto. Schebler coming in. It's Votto in foul ground. He makes the catch and then fires back into the infield. So Renfroe fouls out for the second out here at the third. They'll bring up Corey Spangenberg. Two down here in the third, and it brings up Corey Spangenberg. Game hitting streak coming in, a strikeout victim in the first. Spangenberg went looking, one of 4 strikeouts so far in the night for Feldman. Kind of surrounded the plate, but not a strike. Gets his lead off second with 2 down in the inning. Oh, foul off to the left out of play. Inning started with a home run by Franchi Cordero, his second of the year. As added to the lead, the Padres have a 3-0 advantage.
Laying off the curveball now. Remember Spangenberg earlier this evening, his first at bat. He swung and missed at a curveball in the dirt. Now recognizing it the second time around and laying off.
Adjustments, second time through.
It's a game of adjustments, Donald. And Feldman's doing a good job of keeping that ball down or in the dirt with 2 strikes.
He falls behind here at 3-1. The good hitters count for Spangenberg. Brian Price and the Cincinnati Reds here for game 2 of a 3-game series. They are 3.5 games back in the NL Central. It's ball 4, and Spangenberg is on with a walk. Second walk of the inning, second walk of the outing allowed by Scott Feldman. So he loses Spangenberg, and now we'll deal with Alan Cordova. And a trainer is coming out here along with Brian Price. And something may be up here with Scott Feldman. I didn't notice anything, did you?
I didn't either.
After that last pitch to Spansburg, they made their way out there.
Mac Jenkins, the pitching coach for the Cincinnati Reds. Of course, we mentioned it earlier. Brian Price, also a former pitcher. So
John Farrell and Bud Black.
you know what? I think that should be charged a visit, because you know why? After they broke up that pile of rocks out there, the catcher Mesoraco was still talking to the pitcher,
Which he could do.
Yeah, but I just think it took too much time, and I think you should be charged a visit. It's like a double visit. Health check, and then, okay, how are we going to go about this guy?
Pitch outside here to Cordoba.
I just didn't like it. Too much information, too much time.
You're suggesting that there was something not wrong with Feldman? This one's fouled back. So you think they just went out there and they brought the trainer and it was false hustle?
They spoke in code. Did you see? He is doing a little shimmy there.
I don't think he's okay. I think he's got something medically wrong.
Let's keep an eye on the velocity of that fastball, because remember, he's 89, 90-ish, if that. He's not a hard thrower by any means.
Grounded to third, nicely picked by Suarez, and he'll fire to first for the out. That ends the inning. A good start to begin this third inning for Frenchie Cordero. Third run of the game. Padres lead at 3-0 after 3.
The Reds, as we head to the top of the fourth inning, Clayton Richards so far has been outstanding. He's allowed only one hit, and coming into this ball game, there was a lot of question as to how he would approach the Cincinnati Reds offense, which has the best slugging percentage in the National League against left-hand pitching. Both Darren Balsley and Andy Green said, look, we are less concerned about what the Reds do. We're more concerned about what Clayton Richards does. Stick with his strength early on. And what Darren Balsley added was, he's been surprised at what Clayton has showed him so far this season. His ability to morph himself in the middle of a ball game and go from being a sinker guy to a power fastball guy up in the zone has been a huge weapon for him. He's still learning how to use it. He's thrown 5 pitches up in the zone so far tonight, guys, for them for fly ball outs. Guys, back to you.
All right, Scam, thanks very much. Here's a grounder to short, and Cordoba quickly takes care of it. And Scooter Gennett retired for the first out here of the top of the fourth inning. Welcome in Mark Sweeney as we move along here to the fourth inning. How are you, Mark?
Good, guys. Good to see you guys. Good to see Alan Cordoba back-to-back starts at short.
I like him. I like him at shorts. I like his talking about tall shortstops last night.
And you think about it too, 2 ground ball pitchers, so you know you're going to get action there. They have to evaluate Alan Cordoba at shortstop. He's shown very well in the outfield.
And we're talking about the versatility of those shortstops because we felt that. You look at any level, usually your best athlete, your best players at shortstop, right? You put him anywhere.
One down here in the 4th inning. The ground ball out starting to mount up here for Richard. And this one right through him and into center field, right through the wickets that time. And Joey Votto aboard here breaks up a string of 5 in a row retired by Richard. So 1 out, 1 on, only the second hit of the ball game for the Reds off Richard. Richard will go from the stretch now to deal with Adam Duvall. 0 for 1, flat out to the warning track, pretty deeply out there in the dirt of the track in front of the fence, and Reggie Cordero made the catch.
Serious power by Duvall, and he's always had power, even in the minor leagues in the San Francisco Giants organization. But now he is playing at a ballpark where he can not only drive the ball out of the ballpark, but produce those RBIs.
He's matched up against Will Myers in the home run derby last year in the All-Star Game Festival. Up to short, and Cordero turned this into 2. We head to the bottom of the 4th inning, 3-0 Padres.
Well, it's draft time, draft talk. How about Mackenzie Gore and Dontrell Willis? The high leg kick. You know, every hitter, every pitcher, they have little timing mechanisms. And you know what, Mark Sweeney, we talk about deception quite a bit. And that might be something that works to the advantage of Mackenzie Gore, the #1 pick, 3 overall for the Padres. But when you look at the leg kick, you can do anything you want. He stays over the rubber nicely, and then he explodes towards the plate. It's when that front foot lands, almost like a hitter.
Yeah.
And then where your front side is and your back side is on the baseball, and it looks like he's got everything in sync. So as a hitter, Mark Sweeney, you see a delivery like that, what comes to mind?
I really like the comp, and why I like the comp of Dontrell Willis is the delivery itself. He had deception, but Dontrell Willis didn't throw a lot of strikes consistently. That's what he ran into. You have to be super athletic to be able to have those moving parts. So to your question, it is very difficult with that high glove, seeing a lot of arms and legs. It is very difficult to pick up that release point.
Well, let me ask you this. After you're drafted, you go to the organization, you work with the instructors at the, say, A-ball level when you begin. Do they try to change your delivery? Do they try to change you at that point?
I think they're going to keep you the same and then make adjustments accordingly as time goes on.
Rockies will ground one up the middle into center field, a base hit.
And I can't speak for every pitching coach, but it seems like the logical thing to do. The kid has had success. Let him go out there with the way he's been successful. If he succeeds, hey, hats off. Keep going, kid. Now the hitters get better. he starts to make adjustments some certain ways. Maybe there's a mechanical, maybe it's the position on the mound. Maybe not so much arm angle or leg kick, but little changes maybe. So I think it's through osmosis, through time, will dictate whether you try to make changes or not.
Do they focus on other elements of his game? You know, holding runners, and obviously in high school he's not pitching out of the stretch too many times with those numbers.
He could be the king in his court, right? Eddie Feigner, he could have 2 defenders behind him with the way he pitched in high school and just need to catch him. But yes, the game plan is going to change dramatically. As you said, you're playing now against the best in the country. You're not playing against high school teams anymore. But I really like his changeup. I really like his changeup from Gore.
And the bunt here dropped down in front, and look at second base for Mesoraco, but he'll go to first. And Richard completes the sacrifice as Hedges takes second base.
Well, I'm wondering what the tall right-hander has to say about Mackenzie Gore. Scan?
You know, I love watching the kid pitch, and yes, there's a lot of moving parts right now, but I like the deception, and I think some of that will probably be fine-tuned as time goes on, because we all know in high school, when you have stuff that's good, the command doesn't have to be all that. And when you start playing at the professional level, those hitters are going to expose some of those things. So I say let him go, like you guys were saying at first, and I think a lot depends also on the makeup of the kids. Some kids understand, look, I want to learn. I want to figure this thing out right away. Teach me, coach. Other guys might be a little bit more hard-headed. From everything I've heard, this kid, though, has outstanding makeup and should be very coachable from day number 1.
One down, Hedges at second base. Top of the order, Jose Perella coming up. 3 for 7 with runners in scoring position, and got a runner at second right now, and Hedges 1 for 2 in the ball game tonight, singled back in the first inning. I just wondered about that, because you think of all these guys that, you know, they come in, and certainly a lot of the first round draft choices make a lot of money. They're coming from good college programs in some situations. I just wondered, once professional instructors get a hold of these guys, whether or not they change them at that point.
I think it depends on the individual, because you guys have been around a lot of coaches, minor leagues and big leagues alike, and not going to mention any names, but there are guys out there who want to make a name for themselves as a coach.
Right.
So you know what? I'm going to change this kid. I want to have this kid do something different, so hopefully I can get the credit.
Yep.
I would say that's a very small percentage of coaches that do that, but they're out there. So I agree with letting the kid go and see what he can do.
And I like what Scan said too. You have to be able to go out there, and if you're going to make a pick at number 3, he has to be coachable. You wipe that money away, because you're going to make your money sustain success in the big league level. How you get there is being coached. That's what happens on every level.
One out, Hedges at second base, and Perella. It's a fly ball out towards center field. Billy Hamilton out there waiting. And he'll make the catch out there for out number 2. And Franchi Cordero is coming up, and he has 2 home runs. Got his first major league home run out of the way, and tonight he gets his second. To look at both.
You know what I like about this is that yesterday opposite field, tonight going the big part of the field too. Left field last night, and now using center field. But this young man has a lot of pop. The swing and miss is in his game, so he's going to have to modify certain things. But I love his game, the total package, because we saw defense last night. We see his speed, and he continues to get better with that swing.
Got to be feeling more comfortable on a daily basis, having a chance to play on a regular basis now too.
Yeah, and with the injuries, you're getting opportunity, and he is pouncing on it.
Foul back off to our left, out of play.
I'm impressed with that changeup he hit. I mean, that's some kind of strong. And as I mentioned earlier, Mark, it really wasn't his best swing. It was a changeup down. He took it to the opposite field with authority. That's nice.
And the Reds have allowed 100 home runs this season. The 100th was Franchi Cordero. It's the most in Major League Baseball. Fly ball to right field, playable for Schebler, who comes over and makes the catch that ends the inning. Padres leave Hedges at second, but have a 3-0 lead. by Cricket Wireless. Let's take a look at this pop-up in the infield. How many Reds does it take to catch a pop fly? 5 was not enough last night as it falls between all of them. I got it, you take it. Nobody took it last night.
They were scared of it, looked like.
Unbelievable.
Doesn't look like Brian Price is smiling.
He did not have a good time. Well, he head on to the 5th inning. Suarez leads it off. And it's cranked foul down the right field line.
That was Zach Cozart that we just showed there. And as a shortstop, the captain of the infield, you have to take charge on those balls. Right in the middle of the diamond.
Now Cozart, who has moved ahead of Corey Seager in the voting on All-Star voting. He's been struggling lately, hitless in his last 15 at bats, dealing with a minor thigh injury for really a couple of months, and out of the lineup tonight. There's a grounder down the third baseline, foul. Sweet Dog, I got to give Mud credit tonight. This is not my pocket square. I did not come to the park with this pocket square. So he took one look at Mud's combination with the pocket square, and it really didn't match what he had on. It matched what I had on much better. So this is my pocket square now.
Well, you have purple in there.
I know, that's what I tried to tell him.
Man, is that hard to see.
You can't see it. That's strike 3, and that's the first K for Richard. One down.
Okay, Joseph Abboud.
Well, it's just that, you know, when you look at it, like sometimes ties look different on camera than they do in person. And in person, I can see the purple. We see the purple, but in camera, do you see any purple in that?
Yeah,
not
that's
much.
stripe right there.
Where I'm like all purple.
It looks black.
Barney.
I mean, I'm like Barney.
It's purple.
In more ways than one.
More ways than one.
I love you.
Not only purple.
Anyway, thanks for the pocket square, but I wanted to,
You're welcome.
you know, just complete disclosure here. This is not my pocket square.
That's really good that you're giving him credit. I like that. It's really nice of you.
I'm a team player. I like your purple.
Thank you very much.
I like that.
It's fair enough.
Not much of a Paisley guy, but I do like that combo.
I know you don't like
I
Paisley.
do like that, though.
Thank you.
Scott Schebler
What'd you
has
call him? Oh, man.
How about Clayton Richards tonight? 3 7-pitch innings in the first, third, and fourth. He had a 20-pitch in the second. Next toss will be number 49 for number 3.
highly economical outing so far. And a grounder left side. Cordoba to first for the out. 2 down. Another big ground ball out night for Clayton Richard. That's always a good sign.
You know the amazing thing about Clayton Richard, he works down to the zone, he gets his grounders, but you even look at that last ground ball to Schebler. It was a pitch up in the zone, and he just tried to get on top of it to elevate it, but too much. Hence the ground ball and 6-3. But the majority ones here are down in the zone, and that's where he likes to live and gets great results.
9 ground ball outs by my count so far tonight for Clayton Richard. Evan Mesoraco lined out to center field, and French Cordero in the second inning. On the ground foul outside of third.
I like what he's doing there too. Both of the first 2 pitches were down in the zone, trying to induce that ground ball. But then they look for something elevated. Austin Hedges wanted to change that eye level.
Let's see if he does that here, 1-2. But if you go up out of the zone, go up out of the zone. Oh, looks like an off-speed pitch here, changeup.
Two, and that hits him on the forearm, looked like. Kind of ducked into it. And the hit batter here with 2 down in the inning.
Hit the top hand?
I think so.
Yeah.
So base runner here with 2 away, and that'll bring up Jose Peraza. for one, grounded out to third base in the third inning. Fairly aggressive here against Richard, and that's been part of it too, the low pitch count for him.
Yeah, I think a lot of it has to do with the pacing in between pitches. That's always when you see Clayton Richard and he gets into that rhythm early in the game. It gets that symmetry between Austin Hedges and Clayton.
On the ground to short. Cordoba will go to second base, underhanded and in time for the force out that ends the inning. Halfway through, 3-0 Padres. Major League Baseball, and Andrew McCutchen, not one but 2 home runs for the Pittsburgh Pirates in a 5-2 win over the Colorado Rockies. The Rockies have not enjoyed their stay at PNC Park so far against the Pirates.
Clear the decks, cannonball coming. How about that division, the NL Central? Should we call it the Comedy Central?
Well, the Reds coming into tonight's game 3.5 games back. Cincinnati now 3 games back. Milwaukee on top, and it is bunched up first to last. Everybody in it.
Okay, hypothetical. Let's say this stays, once again, it's a hypothetical. It stays pretty close like this through the whole year, through the trading deadline. It's going to be unbelievable what teams are going to do what in that division to try to grab it by the season's end.
I think it makes it very exciting.
I think some of those teams don't want to be in the position they are. And that sounds weird, but you think about Milwaukee Brewers. They were thinking about trying to trade Ryan Braun, for example. He's on the shelf. That's a team that was projected to just trying to produce this year with their younger players, and they're in first place. Their fan base wants more players, and they're in that development phase. So it's a tough situation for the front office to make.
And the wild card has done that to some degree too, because if you start selling off pieces, it really kind of sends a bad message to your team and your fan base, I think, too.
It definitely does.
And how many of those teams, if it gets to that, to where buyers or sellers are going to, within the division, okay, I like that guy in the Cardinals. Oh, I like that guy in the Cubs. Oh, no, I want that guy with the Pirates.
That's strikeout number 5 for Feldman as Myers strikes out. It's time now for the Unlimited Baseball break, brought to you by T-Mobile. Anthony Rizzo 2 for 4, including a home run for his career start as a leadoff hitter for the Cubs. Andrew McCutchen just showed you his 2 home runs, and Adrian Gonzalez goes back on the DL, a guy who had not been on the DL for 14 years. First time he went on earlier this year. He's got a herniated disc. So that's fairly significant for Adrian Gonzalez and for the Dodgers.
Guys, and the Dodgers are still in position because of their farm system, and Cody Bellinger is 4th career multi-home run game tonight, and it's really easy to know that if Adrian's going on the disabled list, you have a young player that's impacting the game, and he's probably that's his best position.
Remember when Adrian Gonzalez went on the DL for the first time in his career. It was here, and they were here. The Dodgers were here, and that was when Cody Bellinger initially came up. It was just going to be for that time that Adrian was on the DL. Well, obviously doing what he did, he's still on the roster and will be.
Mark, Don and I were talking before you joined us that American League Rookie of the Year trophy and NL, should they start engraving it already? Aaron Judge and Bellinger?
Well,
I know it's early, but it's
might add MVP to that list as well, especially with the Aaron Judge situation.
Popped up, that's going to fall, and in for a base hit in front of Hamilton coming from center. And Hervis Solarte with a base hit, his second of the night.
Well, take that ball. That sits nicely. As a hitter, you know you don't square it up, but you get to watch this the whole way. You just hope that it just sits nicely. Then you go around first and you look at your first base coach.
Yeah. Now let me ask you this: you come around to score, right? What would Merv Retman say to you? Your hitting coach back in the day with the Padres.
Merv had so many statements that would floor you as you were putting your helmet away. He'd say, "That's a perfect swing for winter ball." He said, "Don't peak too early, kid. Your best success is during the winter." I absolutely love Merv.
Oh, he's the best, huh?
Oh, so many fun times just even sitting next to him, talking the game.
Renfroe got jammed there, and he fouls it back down 0-2.
My favorite Merv Retman story is Dan Howard, big left-handed hitter for the A's. He pinch hits against Roger Clemens when he was at the peak of his career with the Red Sox. Pinch hit appearance. Strike one, swinging. Strike two, swinging. Strike three, swinging. Comes back to the dugout, all dejected. And Merv says, "No, Danny, come here, sit down." So he sits down next to Merv and he goes, "Hey, you had everything right. The foot was down, the hands were back, short, quick through the zone, good follow through. The only problem was you're in the wrong time zone." And he says this with all sincerity, straight face, like you know how he can deliver it, right?
Oh, yeah.
You're in the wrong time zone. Everything else was perfect.
Well, Renfroe strikes out, second strikeout for Scott Feldman. 2 down, and Solarte still at first base now for Corey Spangenberg.
There's that good curveball from Feldman.
Well, Spangenberg tonight has struck out and walked. Down 0-2.
You think he's getting another breaking ball?
I would think so, bouncing the curveball. That's what I would go with.
Check on Solarte at first base, back to the bag. Oh, 2 the count.
Breaking ball.
Check swing as that one gets away. He didn't go, and taking second base is Solarte.
I thought he went on that. May have caught a break.
Well, they check with third base umpire Chad Whitson. He didn't think he did. Wild pitch, charge to Feldman. We'll get a look.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my goodness.
He hits it at the double.
I think he held up.
Oh.
1-2 pitch coming up. Did he go? No. And the ball in the dirt's 2-2.
I think he's going to get a heavy dose of breaking balls.
Yeah. He's going to what, 3 in a row, right? 4 in a row? Fastball in.
Bird fouls it back. Trying to sneak one by him.
That's the pitch elevated that he likes in that strike zone. He's been powering the baseball to the center. It's a good sign.
Solarte at second base, chance to add on to the Padres 3-0 advantage. Spangenberg sends it to center. Hamilton coming in. That's going to fall for a hit. Here comes Solarte trying to score. The throw, the plate's going to be close. Yet Harris is in, and the Padres take a 4-0 lead. Corey Spangenberg driving in another Padres run.
Little cut fastball up. Mark Sweeney, you were talking about a pitch elevated. And once again, this is the sweet spot. Dumps in there in center field.
Well, watch the slide on Solarte here. Taking a peek, and he's got to slide over the bat. That's when your on-deck hitter has to really hustle out there and get that bat away from the slide.
A big 2-out RBI right there for Spangenberg, and this one fouled back to the screen. And Córdoba 0 for 2 has struck out and grounded out.
Those 2-out RBIs are huge.
To right field. Schebler is out there waiting, and he'll make the catch. It ends the inning, but the Padres add a run. Take a 4-0 lead at the end of 5, and it's Corey Spangenberg who drives in the 4th Padres run.
My favorite golfer, so I'm rooting for him, and hopefully he wins it 2 out of the last 3 years.
What's going good with his game right now?
He's starting to play a little bit better. His putting's been a little rough here this year, but he's starting to figure it out. I think he finished top 10 his last tournament, so trending upward.
Well, that's Thursday, guys, and I know both you guys like golf. World's greatest player is going to battle for America's champion. It's the 117th U.S. Open, Thursday on Fox FS1 and streaming live on Fox Sports Go.
There is Mendy Alcantara leading it off here in pinch hitting in the pitcher's spot. Alcantara fouls it off to the right.
Have you seen the rough? Some serious cabbage.
Really?
I mean, don't stray off of the fairway. It's going to be some high scores. Aaron Hills. They said they've been shut down since October.
Overseeding? Is that what they do before a major?
They probably make sure it is pristine.
Yeah.
Looking forward to it. I got Jason Day.
To left field, Perella coming in, and he'll get there for the first out here of the 6th inning.
Hey, vote today, vote tomorrow. Vote Padres for your 2017 All-Stars with the Esurance MLB All-Star Game ballot. Vote at Padres.com/vote and catch all the excitement of the 88th MLB All-Star Game in Miami. Presented by MasterCard. It's July 11th And of course, you can only see the Major League Baseball All-Star Game on Fox.
One down for Billy Hamilton. Padres have done a very nice job of keeping him off the bases. Do himself a favor if you can do that. And so far tonight, 2 ground ball outs for Clayton Richard. The old adage is you can't steal first base.
Yes.
I like
so
that.
True. I'm a big fan of that statement.
Jammed and he fouls it off.
I said it game 1 of the series. I'm pitching this guy up in the zone. He's not a home run threat. Hey, there are no bad hops in the air.
I always wonder because when you're struggling, you want to put both eyes on the pitcher. And it looks like he's looking out of the side.
He strikes out. Second strikeout for Clayton Richard. 2 down here in the 6th inning.
Slider down and in. Mark, elaborate on that a little bit as far as watching the pitcher.
Well, it's just it's the head, and you want to put both eyes on that release point so you can track it. It looks like he's just looking on the side of his eyes. That doesn't look comfortable.
Right.
And he's done it for so long, so obviously he is comfortable with that. But he's that guy you want to put on the ground and use your speed. He hasn't been able to do it this series.
2 down here in the 6th inning. Brings up Scooter Gennett, 0 for 2. He's grounded out twice. 10 ground ball outs in this game for Clayton Richard. That's through 5 2/3 inning for the Padres left-hander. Swing and a miss. Right ahead of that was Gennett. Richard coming in 4 and 7 individually with a 4.54 earned run average. 14th start of the year for the veteran left-hander. Popped up. Foul ground. Spangenberg makes the catch that ends the inning. Richard is through 6. Padres have a 4-0 lead. Padres baseball brought to you by your San Diego County Lexus dealer. Invites you to test drive a Lexus today. And by Papa John's Pizza. Better ingredients, better pizza. Papa John's, proud partner of the San Diego Padres. Time now for the San Diego fan of the game. Rocking out here at Petco Park.
Yeah, rocking the air guitar.
Last half of the 6th inning with a 4-0 advantage. New pitcher on now for the Reds. After the first 5 thrown by Scott Feldman, who threw 92 pitches. Blake Wood pitching in his second straight game here for Cincinnati.
Pretty much sinker slider. 29th game for Blake Wood.
Pitching change brought to you by El Cajon Ford.
A little high on the walks from 14 in 13 plus stanzas.
Austin Hedges leading it off. 1 for 2. Single to center his last time up.
You know what? If people only knew like some of the stuff that's said in this booth, and then there's no comment, but the looks.
Just looks. There's not a lot said because, of course, we have the microphones. So we have to be careful. There are several faces made.
Oh, if people only knew. That slider from Wood breaking straight down. Good tilt. How you doing?
Hedges, Richard, and Perella scheduled bat here in the bottom of the 6th inning. On the ground towards first baseman Joey Votto. It's the pitcher, and Blake Wood is there for the first out here at the bottom of the 6th inning.
Mark Sweeney, you played in Cincinnati. You wore the red leg uniform.
I did. 1999. I loved it. Played in the old stadium, unfortunately, because that was when they were making that transformation over to the new stadium. But loved the organization, loved the history of the Cincinnati Reds. And we lost to the Mets in that playoff game before the playoffs started. Al Leiter.
Steve Paris.
Yes, Steve Paris pitched against Al Leiter. It was a fun team. Had a lot of talent, good bench. Jack McKeon was our manager.
Want a little nugget about Steve Paris?
I would love it.
I played Little League with his brother John at Marycrest Little League in Joliet, and I remember his brother just being a menace around the park. Yeah, but his brother John was an all-star second baseman for us at Marycrest Little League. His 12-year-old. Yep.
So just the 1 year with Cincinnati?
1 year. And I went over with Davey Lopes to Milwaukee from there. But Cincinnati is one of those cities that absolutely love their team. It's the history of it. It's a big red machine, and you had to represent the Reds.
Was Marge around then?
Marge was.
Yep. So the dog was there too on the field the whole
We
thing?
actually had an event at the end of the year where we went to Marge's house. And it's a beautiful property. We walked in and had dinner there, and just all surreal stuff. It was great. Absolutely loved my time in Cincinnati.
Remember back in the day when it was tradition. The Reds owned opening day.
Right.
They
They're the only
played
team.
opening day.
Yeah. They started the season.
Yeah.
Well, anytime you can play with an icon in Barry Larkin too, and you can't minimize that, because obviously everyone knows about Tony Gwynn. Barry Larkin was everything to that city, and to be able to be in that same uniform was pretty special.
You played with some pretty darn good shortstops. Ozzie Smith, Barry Larkin.
Omar Vizquel. Some good ones.
Omar's good.
Oh,
I played with him in Seattle.
So good.
Oh, he was fun to watch. Hey,
Stayed
talk
up.
about a guy having fun playing.
Oh, I loved it.
Richard with a swing and a miss, and he strikes out. Second time he has done that. First strikeout for Blake Wood. 7th K for Reds pitching. 2 down. Best shortstop you ever played with?
Ozzie. And I say that because obviously not taking anything away from the others, because spectacular. Ozzie did things very easy, and he did it very athletically, which was pretty special. And he wanted to put a flair on it, and he did it every single day. Put on a show.
2 down for Jose Perella. But you've been talking a lot about shortstops tonight. Who's the best shortstop played behind you?
Well, I loved Gary Templeton. Don't get me wrong. He was the captain of our team, but I got to give the nod to Omar Vizquel.
You're in Seattle.
Oh, he just, like I said, he made things look easy.
Back to the mound. Wood with a nice play. He'll run a bit and flip underhanded to end the inning. Played 6. Padres have a 4-0 lead. early in this game. Will Myers would score Jose Perella, then Yangervis Solarte with a base hit of his own. That would score Cordero, and the Padres had a 2-0 advantage. Then Frenchy Cordero got his first Major League home run yesterday, comes back with a home run tonight again. 3-0 Padres, and Padres would add another run in the 5th inning on a double by Corey Spangenberg. There's a grounder down to Myers at first base. Off the bat here, Joey Votto. He is out number 1 at the top of the 7th inning.
Don, you mentioned it earlier, the Redlegs swinging early, and another quick out here in the 7th for Clayton. That was the 69th toss from the left-hander tonight.
Got him for 11 ground ball outs. First ground ball out here in the 7th inning.
And like you said before the game, he's going to stick to his strength, and that's working down the zone, and he will adjust accordingly if those red hitters make an adjustment.
70th pitch of his outing coming up here to Adam Duvall, who is 0 for 2.
And strike one always helps.
Duvall has flied out to the warning track in center and grounded into a 6-4-3 double play. Richard has been ahead of most tonight, 17 of 22.
I'll take that.
First pitch strikes.
Hey, you saved the bullpen tonight, right? Maybe you go 2 more innings. Hey, maybe even you sniff a CG for Clayton Richard. And then you go for the sweep tomorrow. Hopefully that's the case, to where you have the off day in Milwaukee on Thursday.
Richard has a complete game this year for the Padres. Looking here with 1 down in the 7th inning. And there is strike 3. Duvall becomes a 3rd strikeout victim for Clayton Richard, and Duvall says something to Lance Barksdale on the way by. 2 down.
Well, it's been a liberal strike zone tonight. Early on it was, and you know what? That's a high strike. That's 92, top of the strike zone. You betcha. Perfectly placed. It's exactly where Austin Hedges wanted it. Clayton Richard is hitting his spots up and down.
Here's Suarez, 0 for 2. He's flied out to right and struck out looking. Padres out hitting the Reds 8-2. 14th start of the year for Clayton Richard. Look at the pitch breakdown for him, and you mentioned highly economical in this game. He's had 3 innings, which he's thrown only 7 pitches. Suarez taken all the way, and he takes ball 4 with 2 down here in the 7th inning.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by the authority, the San Diego Padres. It may not be reproduced, retransmitted in any form. The accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the San Diego Padres.
So 2 down, Suarez at first base, and it brings up Scott Schebler. 1 for 2 in the ball game. Schebler with a single back in the 2nd inning. One of only 2 hits so far for the Reds on the night. Grounder with a shift on up the middle. It is Spangenberg who will make the throw against the grain, but not in time. Nice rangy play there by Spangenberg, going all the way from the right side of the infield to the shortstop spot to grab that, but Schebler will get an infield hit, and Suarez takes second base, and look how far Spangenberg had to go for this.
Well, sometimes the shift taketh, and sometimes the shift giveth and taketh away. Yeah, you know what I'm trying to say. Yeah, leave it to Shakespeare here.
2 down, runners at first and second. It brings up There's a Rocco.
Guess what I was trying to say is sometimes it works for you and sometimes, it doesn't. Simply put.
And then Mesoraco has lined out to center, been hit by a pitch. Lines this towards right field. Renfroe will move over and make the catch to end the inning. The Reds strand the pair. 7th inning stretch. Cordero with his second home run in the big leagues. Give the Padres a 3-0 advantage. A run off the starter Scott Feldman, who gave up all 4 runs that the Padres have. Saw Blake Wood for an inning. And a 1-2-3 6th inning as we head to the bottom of the 7th. Tony Cingrani now coming in for the Cincinnati Reds, a left-hander.
This left-hander enters his 9th game. He's pretty heavy on the fastball. High usage, almost 80% fastballs, and then he'll flip up a slider and a changeup. A short time, small sample size, only 7 innings. A little deception in that delivery, keeps that front side closed.
Cordero going to lead it off here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Myers and Solarte after him.
Cingrani, you saw the small sample size there. He was on the disabled list with the strained right oblique, so that's why he doesn't have the numbers.
In the air to right center field. Hamilton going back, looking up, and that ball is gone. Franchi Cordero is homered again. His second home run of the night gives the Padres a 5-0 lead.
What are you doing? It's unbelievable. This kid's got some pop. Lefty on lefty, right down the middle. And Cingrani's got to be thinking, who is this kid? That ball got out in a hurry. Look out on the San Diego deck.
Second round tripper of the night, his 3rd hit of the ball game. Now line drive to left field, hooked by Myers all the way back to the wall. Myers heading for second base, and he will get there standing. Good start to this bottom of the 7th inning for the Padres against Cingrani.
Pretty straight fastball from Cingrani. We saw it off the bat of Cordero. That's 88. That looked like maybe a changeup. And Will staying back just enough. Yeah, he was drifting a little bit. Out in front, you see the ball hooking. Hits that ball well. Not the best swing, but great results for the Padre first baseman.
Padres 3 for 11 with runners in scoring position as Solarte stands in with Myers at second base.
I think these Padre hitters, Don, can just focus on the fastball because I mentioned it. Cingrani's a fastball guy 80% of the time. And if he can't locate it, it's pretty straight. You can see what happens. A lot of damage.
Chop to third. Suarez looks the runner back at second and Myers and throws across to retire Solarte 5-3. So one out. Myers still at second base and you got Hunter Renfroe coming up. For 3 nights tonight for Renfroe. He does have a stolen base after reaching on a fielder's choice back in the first inning. Five runs, 10 hits, no errors for the Padres. No runs, 3 hits, and no errors for the Reds. Total of 80 pitches thrown tonight in 7 innings by Clayton Richard. High fly ball that Renfroe gets out ahead of, sending it down the left field line and foul. Hamilton, the center fielder, step or two towards right center. Runner takes off at third and Myers. The pitch is outside and Will goes diving into third base. Second stolen base of the night for Will Myers. He'd stolen one back in the third. Now steals third here in the 7th.
Well, if you're going to get one look by Cingrani, one look, and then he's up. Boy, he got a good running lead there.
Renfroe with a big cut at a 96-mile-an-hour fastball. Swing and a miss, elevated, and Renfroe chases the high fastball and strikes out for the second out of the inning. The day after the Padres score 5 or more runs, get 50% off any regular menu price online order at papajohns.com. Enter promo code Padres5. You can do that tomorrow. Padres have 5 runs here tonight. Thanks to the home run by Franchi Cordero, his second of the night. It is a 5-0 Padres lead. Here's Corey Spangenberg with a runner at third. And he takes strike one. Myers at third. As Spangenberg jumps back out of the way of ball one, 1-1. Chance here to drive in another run here for Corey Spangenberg. Fouls it back to the screen, 1-2. Led off the inning. Standing at third now. Solarte has grounded out. Renfroe has struck out. 1-2 pitch. And look out. That almost hits Spangenberg, and Myers thought about trying to score, but he throws the brakes on. That one quickly ricocheting off the backstop to the catcher, Mesoraco.
Boy, watch her melon. Back to the screen. He's off. Wait a second. Nope. Bouncing right back to Mesoraco. Cingrani right on his. He was right on home plate as soon as that ball went back to the screen, covering home plate.
2-2 the count to Spangenberg. Spangenberg hits a fly ball to center, and Hamilton is there to make the catch. It ends the inning. Frenchy Cordero with not one but 2 home runs in this game. 1 in the 3rd, 1 in the 7th. Padres have a 5-0 lead at the end of 7.
It's all behind Clayton Richard tonight, Mark.
Well, Mike, only 80 pitches, and you're wondering if he has a clean inning and an efficient inning this inning, he could actually go the distance, and that's a really good sign. Clayton Richard's been excellent tonight. That 2-seamer's been good. He's shown that 4-seamer up, the changeup, and also the slider. It's been really good. A lot of ground ball outs.
It's a 5-0 Padre lead here in the top of the 8th inning. Well, Mark and I see in the post-game show, we're going to have a preview of Inside San Diego Sports, which will follow our post-game show tonight. And we take you inside the war room where A.J. Preller and company are orchestrating the current Major League Draft. Down to Mark.
All right, thanks very much, Mike and Mark, as Clayton Richard back on the mound again. Falling behind here 2-0 to Jose Peraza, who leads it off for the Reds in the top of the 8th. We have the Padres on top 5-0. Peraza 0 for 2. He's grounded out to third, grounded into a fielder's choice.
No free passes here. Go right after him.
Ground ball by the mound, back up the middle into center field, and a base hit for Peraza. 3rd hit of the ball game now for the Reds. That'll bring up a former Padre. Patrick Kiblahan's going to pinch hit.
Just trying to earn their way on base, and Clayton Richard rather than the walk. 3-1 pitch, looking for the fastball. He got it.
Now Kiblahan coming up to pinch hit with Peraza at first base. Kiblahan at .221 with 4 home runs. Kiblahan last year getting his first major league home run that came in a Padres uniform. This year with the Cincinnati Reds. Foul back and out of play, 1-1. Action in the Padres pen for the first time tonight. Brad Hand, the left-hander, is up in the pen. Lined into right field, opposite field, base hit. Back-to-back hits here for the Reds in the 8th.
Well, this is where Andy Green and Darren Balsley will look closely at the swings, how the hitters are reacting to certain pitches. Andy Green kind of directing the defense there. We did mention Brad Hand is up.
Top of the order now, Billy Hamilton stepping in, 0 for 3 in the game. He's grounded out twice and struck out swinging.
Tough guy to double up, of course, because of the speed. It's only grounded into 3 double plays this year. 2 Reds hitters are tied at 7 in that category. Barnhart and Suarez. It's going to have to be like a quick 2-hopper, sharply hit 2-hopper directly at one of the middle infielders to try to double up Hamilton.
You got Spangenberg in at third, Myers in at first. Always the case when Hamilton is up. Grounds it foul, and it's now down to the count 1-2. Let's revisit the keys to the game, brought to you by your San Diego Honda dealers.
Keep Hamilton off base. He is at the plate right now, and we look at the scorecard. 0-for-3 with a strikeout. Everyone contribute. 6 players with hits for the Padres. 4 runs driven in.
I gotta say, you've been outstanding the last 2 nights.
Thank you, my friend.
Win tonight, and the Padres will have won this series with day baseball left to play here tomorrow. And the finale of the series. Swing and a miss, and Hamilton strikes out for the 2nd time tonight. That'll work. Didn't include contact. Even better. 4 strikeouts for Clayton Richard. 1 down here in the 8th.
Went with the slider down and in. We're way out in front of that one.
So 1 out, 2 on here, and it brings up Scooter Gennett. 0 for 3 in the ball game. Gennett has grounded out twice to short and fouled out to the third baseman Corey Spangenberg. Former Milwaukee Brewers Scooter Gennett. .303 average on the season. 4 home runs in 1 game and 7 on the year for Gennett. Grabs the outside corner. Swing and a miss on a pitch running in. Thought that one was going to hit him.
No kidding. And how about the swing? Yes, he did.
Went around, strikes out, back-to-back Ks for Richard. 2 down in the 8th.
How about Clayton Richard coming through big time in crunch time? Singles, 1st and 2nd, 2 strikeouts back-to-back, and he goes back to the slider. And Scooter will scoot back to the dugout without number 2.
So 2 down here in the 8th inning brings up Joey Votto, 1 for 3. A single to center field back in the 4th inning. Center fielder Franchi Cordero over towards left center. And way off the line in right is Renfroe. They're playing for him to go the other way. Swing and a miss. 1-1 to Votto.
Wow, lefty on lefty changeup from Clayton Richard. Nicely done. 4th time around for Votto. He's probably looking for the fastball. That runner in scoring position. Pulls the string.
Pitch number 100 coming up here now for Clayton Richard. With 2 down in the 8th. You got Peraza at 2nd, Kivlahan at 1st. And Votto fouls it off to the left, and it's down 1-2. The 1-2 in the dirt, gets away from Hedges, and the runners will move up. Raza takes third. Kidlahan takes second on a wild pitch. And Hedges is going to visit Clayton Richard. Two and two, the count to Joey Votto. 1 for 3 night for Votto. Reds now with 5 hits in the game. A pop-up foul off to the left out of play. Reds have stranded 4 base runners in the game. The Padres 7. It is a 5-0 San Diego lead right now. Two-two to Votto. And fouled off again. Votto putting on a battle here. Leading the National League at home runs with 18. Tied with his teammate Scott Schebler in that category. 7th pitch of the at-bat coming up. Pitch 104 on the night for Clayton Richard. In the dirt and a full count.
Well, tough to strike out. We know that. Only 32 strikeouts in 227 at-bats this year coming into this game for Joey Votto.
Off pitch. And Votto will take ball 4. Did he swing? No. That looked like a pretty good pitch. I just thought so. He was headed towards the dugout.
Okay, in off the plate a little bit. I thought he went.
And Andy Green coming out here. Richard at 105 pitches. He thought he swung.
I think that's a swing. The bat was.
Andy Green's going to keep him in. So Richard is going to have a chance to finish off this 8th inning with the bases loaded and 2 down. Adam Duvall now coming up. The bases loaded here for Cincinnati. Duvall 0 for 3 in the ball game.
As that ball was crossing home plate, his bat was moving forward. So to me, that's an offer. That is a strike.
Little dribbler down the third baseline. Spangenberg is going to go to first for the out. It gets Richard out of the inning. Nicely done by Corey Spangenberg. The bases are left loaded by the Reds. And the Padres take a 5-0 lead to the bottom of the 8th thanks to Corey Spangenberg. Padres baseball brought to you by Petco, where the pets go. By RCP Block and Brick. Start your outdoor project at rcpblock.com. And by the all-new 2017 Subaru Impreza. Subaru symmetrical all-wheel drive plus 28 miles per gallon. More than a car, it's a Subaru. 5-0. Padres have the lead as we head to the bottom of the 8th inning. And Alan Cordova makes his way to the plate here. Fourth arm used tonight for Brian Price. Jake Buchanan in the game now for the Reds.
Only his 4th game, and when you look at Buchanan's stuff, 2-seamer slider, curveball, and a changeup.
In the air to center field. Billy Hamilton going back, still going over to make the catch on the warning track. We were talking about how shallow a center field he plays, and it's because he can go get it out there in center field. He just showed it all the way back to the 396 marker and on the warning track, and he was very shallow to start.
This will give us a good look. Straight up. His first move is straight back. He eyes it. It makes it look easy, doesn't it?
Sure does. Would have thought that one maybe out of the yard, if nothing else, maybe off the wall out there. And instead, Billy Hamilton runs it down. So 1 out for Austin Hedges. 1 for 3, a single in the 4th inning. To center field. Hamilton now coming in, and he'll dive but not make the catch. Kind of trapped it out there. Keeps it in front of him though. And Hedges has his 2nd hit of the night. This time he's got to come forward instead of back. Running all over the outfield is Billy Hamilton.
It's a track meet out there. Going back to the wall, coming in off the end of the bat. You can see how far Austin has to go out and get that one off the end of the bat. And now Hamilton, he had a chance. That was a very catchable ball for the Reds center fielder. Good first step. Just couldn't squeeze it.
I thought he trapped it. He didn't. Hit him right in the glove. Yeah. Well, Clayton Richard batting for himself is going to have a chance here for a complete game, apparently. It'll be his 2nd of the year. He's thrown 106 pitches in the ball game tonight. And he is pinch hitting here, or not pinch hitting, he's batting for himself here in the 8th inning. Squares and drops it down very nicely. The catcher, Mesoraco, throws him out, but sacrifice is complete. Hedges takes 2nd base. Well, tomorrow, the finale of this 3-game series between the Padres and Reds will play day baseball here tomorrow. In the finale, it'll be Jhoulys Chacín against Amir Garrett. 3-5 with a 7.40 ERA. Chacín looking to go over 500 individually. 5-5 and pitches very well here at Petco Park. Get you started at 12 p.m. with Padres Live. Two down here in the 8th, runner at 2nd, and Jose Pirela the batter. Pirela singled back in the 1st inning, a 1-for-4 night. Inside, almost got him on the elbow, but it's a ball. 2-0. Austin Hedges at 2nd, 2 outs here in the Padres 8th. That drops in there for a strike on the breaking ball. Coming up at the top of the 9th, expected for the Reds, Suarez, Schebler, and Mesoraco. 5, 6, and 7 in the order. Strike on the outside corner. Full count now. Archie Cordero's homered twice in this game, waits on deck. There are 2 outs here in the 8th. There's Cordero. along with those 2 home runs, a single as well. He scored 3 runs in the game. And now Mesoraco's going out to talk to Buchanan.
You know, this day and age of beards, Buchanan's got the sweet beard working. And that's full. That's straight Yukon Cornelius from Rudolph and the Red-Nosed Reindeer. Right?
It is. Absolutely. Center field, Hamilton coming in. He'll play it on a hop. Coming around from second is Hedges. Throw to the plate is not going to be in time. Hedges is in. And the Padres take a 6-0 lead. Hedges going back to tag the bag just to make sure. He wasn't entirely sure if he touched the plate.
You know what? Couple of things there. Austin did go back, but the umpire signaled safe, right?
He did.
Look at he's blocking the plate. He should be automatically safe. Mesoraco was out in front of home plate, not creating a lane. Look, the ball's not there yet. Look at his left leg. He put his foot in before he had the ball.
That's why Hedges stumbled over the home plate. But he goes back and touches it just to be sure, and he is definitely safe. 6-0. Swing and a miss by Cordero. Single in the first, scored a run. Homer, solo shot to left center field in the third, and a center field shot in the seventh. That's solo. And he can't block the plate. You don't have the ball.
Yeah, I thought he moved his. And we saw the result. Austin he tripped.
Yes, he did. I think, though, had it been reviewed, I think it would have been overturned because he was in the way without the ball. The players with 3 home runs in a single game. Richie right now sitting on 2. Home run in the third, home run in the seventh. Swing and a miss, and Cordero strikes out to end the inning. Padres add a run, take a 6-0 lead to the ninth. Game, and Clayton Richard trying to go the complete game here, getting ready for the ninth inning. What's been a terrific outing for him, as he has pitched 8 shutout innings in this ball game and had a total of 12 ground ball outs to this point, 5 strikeouts. And how about Franchi Cordero, the other star of this game, with not 1 but 2 solo home runs as part of his 6-0 Padres lead to the ninth inning. And Clayton Richard trying to get his second complete game of the year. Suarez leads it off and takes strike one.
And the second night in a row where these Padres have hit into the double digits. Last night 14 hits, tonight 12.
Bouncing in, almost hit him. The last Padre pitchers with 2 complete games in a season. Tyson Ross had 2 and Andrew Kashner had 2, but you got to go back to 2014. On the ground and by Myers at first base into right field. Just out of his reach, and a leadoff single for Suarez. Second time he's been aboard. First hit for Suarez. And that'll bring up Scott Schebler, who has 2 hits in the game. Both singles, one in the infield at third in the second, grounded out to short in the fifth, and then had another infield hit to short in the seventh. Padres adding a run in the bottom of the 8th, take a 6-0 advantage.
Well, Schebler, as we got the double barrel working.
Howard joins Maton.
It's only grounded into 1 double play this year in 209 at-bats going into this game.
Line to center, and that's going to get in for a base hit. Up to second base goes Suarez, and the first 2 Reds have reached here in the 9th inning. That's 3 hits on the night for Schebler.
Once again, this Reds team, they've been aggressive early. That looked like something off speed. Hey, the good thing is station to station here. Double play still in order. How about a double play right here?
How about a Fresca?
Nice, you're learning. You're coachable. I like it. You're learning. Well done.
That's a Rocco taking a pitch down low. I can't believe I just said that. I turned into mud. It's not where I want to be. Pitch is in there for a strike, and it's 1-1.
Sure it is. You'll be glad. Well, he's pitching him down. You know, it's unbelievable. Mesoraco, it's only his 28th game, is not grounded into a double play. Usually a catcher's a good candidate.
Strike 2. Mesoraco didn't like it. Line foul out ahead.
Did you see that Minnesota score?
No, I didn't.
20-7 over the Mariners.
Wow.
28 hits for the Twins. Cubs over the Mets 14-3. That's a final from the Big Apple.
1-2 pitch. As Rocco fouls it off, stays alive. 116 pitches for Richard. On the outside corner for strike 3. As Rocco strikes out first out of the 9th inning. Strikeout number 6 for Clayton Richard.
Looks like he may have gotten a call. Is it a cutter? Is it a breaking ball? It's a breaking ball, and yes, thank you, Austin Hedges. Frames that one. It's the slider. That's a hang with him.
So 1 out, runners at first and second, and Jose Peraza started shortstop tonight after starting at second base last night. Base hit to center field last time up. Set up a bases loaded situation in the 8th. And Richard get out of that unscathed. Here's a strike, and it's 1-1.
I don't know, but you know, for some reason I smell a double play.
Tucker Barnhart has come out on deck here for the Reds. He would bat in the pitcher's spot.
Peraza can run, though. He's got some wheels.
Fly ball center field. Cordero's out there to make the catch for out number 2 of the 9th inning.
Be sure you stay tuned after this one. Padres Live, the postgame show with my comrades and Mark Sweeney. Going to break this one down and hear from Clayton Richard, Andy Green. Other games are on Major League Baseball on Padres Live, the postgame show. Presented by Cox.
2 down. Suarez at second. Schebler at first. Barnhart, the pinch hitter. Had to start last night behind the dish. May see him tomorrow with a day game here. Ball 1. Strike 1. Outfield straight away with 2 on here for the Reds in the 9th inning. Outside for ball 2. Two and two. Well, standing at Petco Park with 2 balls and 2 strikes and 2 down in the 9th. Outside for ball 3. Trying to get him to chase.
Oh, you want to finish this one off, don't you?
Willie Hamilton waiting on deck. They'd like to leave him there. Payoff pitch is lined down the right field line, a foul ball. Just foul down that right field line. Suarez back to second, Schebler back to first with 2 outs. He'll be off again with a full count here in the 9th. Clayton Richard gets the sign. 3-2 pitch in the air to right field. Renfro's on the run. That's going to get down and head to the corner. 1 run is in, and Suarez. Schebler coming around. He'll score. Throw to second, and he's safe. 2 runs in for the Reds, and it's now 6-2 Padres. Now Richard gives up a 2-run double here in the 9th inning. The shutout is gone. And Andy Green is going to make his way out to the mound.
Now, this is quite a battle, and Barnhart does a nice job of fighting this one off. He gets jammed. And you know what? Credit to Hunter Renfroe. He got this ball in quickly and fires a strike to second base. Does he come off the, I mean, this might be worth a challenge here. Does he comes off, tough to tell.
Clayton Richard throws 127 pitches as he heads off. A 6-2 Padres lead in the 9th. Great outing by Richard, who just comes up a tad short in his complete game effort. Pitching change from Petco Park in San Diego. in a game, a single game this year for a starter. 127 pitches, and he leaves after 8 2/3, responsible for the runner at second. 2 runs allowed, and Phil Maton into the game. Billy Hamilton will take strike 1. Second appearance for Maton. First one was pretty impressive.
Major League debut on Sunday, pitched a perfect 8th inning. He had 1 strikeout, and there are his numbers at AAA El Paso for the Chihuahuas.
Strike 2. Billy Hamilton at the top of the Reds order, 0 for 4 in the game. Rounding out twice, striking out twice. The 0-2 pitch coming up. On the ground up the middle into center field, a base hit. Here comes Barnhart. Now he's going to stop. Throw comes plateward, and Barnhart stays at third. And it's now first and third with 2 down, and the tying run in the on-deck circle here for the Reds.
Four-seam fastball, and you see Austin Hedges wanted up, wanted in a little bit, and Hamilton gets on top of it just enough to put it on the ground and beat the infield.
Because the tying run will be on deck, this becomes a save situation. And Andy Green is going to make the change here and get his closer, Brandon Maurer, into the game as Maton departs. We will step aside. It's now 6-2 Padres. We're in the 9th inning with 2 outs. Runner is at first and third. And into the game is Brandon Maurer.
He's got 1 out to get. Saves 10 in 12 opportunities. Trying to save this one for Clayton Richard.
Runner goes, pitch fouled off. Fastball at 97 miles an hour. Hamilton back to the bag at first. Scooter Gennett batting, 0 for 4 in the ball game.
And Maurer should be fresh. It's been 4 days since he's been out there last against Kansas City. Pitch an inning.
Runner goes, a swing and a miss, and that's strike 2. Taking second is Billy Hamilton. They were not holding him on, so defensive indifference. Maurer ahead here, 0-2. The 0-2 pitch. A little bit high. 99. And Richard looking on. Responsible for the runner at third and Barnhart. to first. Myers has got it, and the Padres win. Brandon Maurer coming in, showing some Maurer power to finish it off for the Padres as San Diego's won this series, taking the first 2 games. What's in store, Mike Pomerantz?
Well, we're going to hear from Andy Green. He's going to talk about his starting pitcher, Clayton Richard. What a nice job for Clayton tonight. Congratulations to the Padres. And Andy Green discusses other things, including the draft, and a preview of Inside San Diego Sports.